We're into August now, my least favourite time of year. The foliage has started to look tired and dusty. The breeding season is all but over. The freshness and vibrancy of the spring long gone, and most birds keep a low profile during the moult. The 4 osprey chicks on the linden side are all still doing well, and are now leaving the nest on regular occasions. But today we've come to the Egleton Reserve. As we enter the reserve, everything looks pretty quiet. There are a few water birds to be seen, looks like mainly gadwall and coot, and as usual, stock dove can be seen perched on the duck traps. This male displays to his mate. The stock dove breeding season is a long one and can run from late February through to late summer. As this grey heron preens on top of a nest box, we decide to move on, and Lagoon 4 promises many more birds, like this little egret out on the scrape, with a colourful backdrop of oxeye daisies. And there's hundreds of the common goose varieties out there, grey lag and Canada geese, but unfortunately no sign of the little stint that has been reported here. But here's the charming sight of a little grebe with 2 chicks trying to hit a ride on their parents' back. There are a few lapwing here too, but not huge flocks. Suddenly, many of the geese take to the air. We think that maybe a predator has been spotted, maybe a peregrine, or even a fox, and some gulls on the far side have also taken flight. But there's no predator at the moment. The panic was started by this flock of Hebridean sheep being moved to new pasture. Many reserves use rare breed sheep and cattle to help manage the grasslands, which is good for the various rare breeds, and of course the reserves. A closer look at the flock of gulls on the far side reveal mainly black-backed gull and herring gull, but on the osprey post is a gull I've never seen or filmed before. It's a yellow-legged gull, and it's pleasing that on a fairly quiet day like today I can still see something new. And then a pair of avocet flying, an unmistakable wader with its distinctive pied plumage, and of course the emblem of the RSPB. We move on and pass gatekeeper butterflies feeding on ragwort, and looking out on Lagoon 3 there's quite a few wildfowl to be seen. They're mostly gadwall by the look of it. As the breeding season is over and they no longer need to attract a mate, the males are moving into eclipse plumage. And the black-headed gulls have started to lose their dark heads. There's also a few common tern fishing out there. These birds have featured quite a lot on my films during the spring and summer, but it won't be too long before they begin their long migration. And also out there, a single male pochard. We've seen a lot of dragonflies today flying around, but they've been very lively, difficult to film. But here's a pair of ruddy darter making the copulation wheel where the male fertilises the eggs. When this is done, the female will lay the eggs in some nearby water. It's another humid day, and we decide to make the hot, sticky journey back to the car park. I change to a macro lens as I want to film any insect life I see along the woodland paths and among the wildflower meadows. Today is warm and humid, but as the blackberry bushes begin to bear fruit, we're reminded that autumn is only a month away. My macro lens reveals myriad, both yellow and orange, striped hoverflies, all with long Latin names, and also these flower flies, which are bee mimics. And here's the real thing, foraging honeybees. Feeding on a patch of ragwort are the caterpillars of the cinnabar moth. Ragwort may be fine food for the cinnabar moth caterpillars, but is poisonous to horses and cattle. We see large white, small white and green vein white butterflies, but they're a little camera shy, unlike the speckled wood. And at last a damselfly perches long enough for me to film it. This is a blue-tailed damselfly. And then, at the reserve gate, laying on the floor, we find this tiny little shrew, a creature you'd never normally get to see this close, and how it met its end must remain a mystery. I'll see you next time.